Today I'll be showing you how to export prescription maps to the C3000 controlling the white planner. You can see I'm using FarmWorks software. You can use SMS or basically any farm software that'll export shapefiles. We are going to export all these files as shapefiles. That's going to be the preferred method. You can see here I have my jobs or my prescriptions. I just want to show you a few of them. You can see here that I have my prescription with 3 different zones. You can have many zones. The big thing is you want to make sure the grid size matches the width of the customer's planner. So 40-foot planner, make sure that your grids are 40 feet by 40 feet. We don't want to have too many polygons in the prescription. Also, you need to make sure that the rate is in whole number format. So if I'm trying to achieve 20,000 seeds per acre, I need to make sure it says 20.0. We write the prescriptions in 1,000 seeds per acre. So you can see here I have 3 rates, 20, 17, and 14, respectively 20,000, 17,000, 14,000. Now when I go back to my jobs, you can see that I have 8 different prescriptions here. To export these in FarmWorks, basically I'm going to select all prescriptions. I'm going to right click and hit export, and then I'm going to pick my path. So I want to just pick my flash drive. Make sure that your flash drive is empty before you do this. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. There you see all the prescriptions are exported. When I look at my files, I'm going to bring open my thumb drive. You can see that I have all of my shape files. All right, I have my DBF, my SHP, and my SHX file for each prescription. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the thumb drive out, bring it over to the C3000. The thumb drive is located right on the back left side here. You can see that I have my virtual terminal open. This is going to be my white planner monitor. The thing that you want to remember is if you are using prescriptions, that you need to make sure that you look at this rate right here with the target next to it. That's going to tell you that I'm reading from a task controller, and this is going to be the desired rate. So right now you can see I'm out of boundary. I got 0 right here. When we import those prescriptions, you'll actually see that rate change to the desired zone that you're in. So I'm going to pull my guidance screen across. First thing I want to do is make my client and farm and field. So I'm going to hit my field menu, and I'm going to hit plus. All right. So I want to name my client farm the same. That's going to be the easiest way to document data on here and then export the data into your FMIS software. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name. I'm going to go ahead and name my client and my farm as white. Now I want to name my fields individual. So I want to name them a name that is representative of the customer's field, or something that you will remember to basically load back into your farm software at the end of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my field. And for this, the first prescription I have is Betty's. So I'm going to go ahead and name it Betty's. And then I'm going to hit my check. So now I've started my client, farm, and field. Now I need to start a job to start. You always have to have a job started to be able to map and load data to the display. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my Jobs tab, and then I want to hit my plus for new. Now you want to name your job the crop, the variety, and the year. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant corn. Okay, if you screw up and you want to get back in, you can get right back in and re-edit the name of the job. So I'm going to hit corn. I have Pioneer on this, and then 2016. Now when you bring this job back into a farm software, what it's going to do is this is going to be loaded under that task for the year. Okay, I'm going to hit my check. Now you can see my indicator, my master indicator goes white. That means now that I'm in the proper procedure, I've met all requirements to be able to plant and map. But I want to load a prescription. So what I'm going to do is open that job back up, and there you can see your prescription editor window. Looks just like a prescription with a wrench, and it's going to go through a VRC configuration. So I'm going to hit the next arrow, and I am using shape files for everything. Now you can see I'm on my client farm as white, and then I got my field as Betty's. I need to go to my thumb drive, so I'm going to go ahead and press my thumb drive here. And then I want to use this thumb drive to home. That's going to basically import anything from the thumb drive onto the display. There you see all my prescriptions. The first one that I want to do is the Betty's. So I'm going to go ahead and hit select Betty's there, hit my next arrow, and then it's going to come up with a VRC configuration. And right now you can see this channel says sunflower, and that is the only reason there is I have sunflowers as my product. It doesn't matter what you have there. You can change it after the fact on the actual virtual terminal. So I'm going to hit my source as that prescription that I have loaded. The next prescription that I have loaded. So now you've done channels 1 and 2. This is a 2-channel planner, meaning that it has 2 drives. My attribute is, you can see that I have 2 different varieties for this prescription. So I'm going to select my Pioneer. And then I'm going to select my Pioneer here. And then you can see that the units is 1,000 seeds per acre. You also do have a rescale. So if you need to up the rate in a prescription, you can rescale it by using that rescale factor. And then the default is basically anywhere there's not a prescription or out of bounds rate, you can set the default to do that. For my prescriptions, I make sure that I don't have any dead zones. So I want to make sure that the default is 0. I'm going to hit next, and then you can see that the VRC configuration is complete. I'm going to hit my check. Now you can see that my prescription is loaded here. Now one thing you want to make sure is if the prescription is not showing, you come up to the layers on the top, and you see that this VRC map, you need to make sure that this is selected in here. Sometimes it defaults to none. There you can see I'm not seeing my prescription, and that is why I do not have my layer selected. So I'm going to go ahead and select my VRC. Now you can see those prescriptions. Right now you can see that I am at 0 rate, and that's because I'm out of bounds. I want to go ahead and I want to engage my prescription. So what I want to do is I want to select my master, turn it on, and then I'm going to start driving through my prescription. So you can see my prescription over here. Then you can see my rate right here. So I'm going to start driving. And now you can see as I drive into my prescription, so I'm going to go ahead and change my layers. You can see that my rate, and the rate will change per channel. So you can see it changes at different times depending on where the actual planner sits in that prescription. I'm going to speed up here so you guys can see. So right now I'm planting at 150,000 seeds an acre. I'm going to go ahead and turn at a little bit of an angle. And as I run through my field, this is what you're going to see. You're actually going to see painting. When you're dropping seed, you'll actually see a as-applied rate behind the planner. Here you can see the rate change. So you can see it changes per drive. Okay, so we have 135 and 135 now. And this is what you want to see right here. You want to see the target rate with the arrows here. And then you also want to see an arrow going forward and back, meaning that it is writing data to the processor, which is then in turn able to be taken off at the end of the year. So I want to load another prescription so you can see it again. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop my field here, and I'm going to stop my job. So I stop my job. Now I want to make a new field. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that plus. I do not need to change my client and farm because I haven't changed. I want to name a new field. So my next prescription is going to be East Quarter. All right, I'm going to hit check. Okay, I need to change the way that this is written. Okay, so now I'm on the East Quarter. I want to start a job. So I'm going to hit my plus, job, and I'm going to name it the crop, the variety, and the year. So I'm going to plant soybeans here. I have Asgrow, 2016. All right, now I want to import my prescription. So I'm going to go ahead and select the prescription, VRC Configurator. Hit next. I'm using shapefiles. I want to use my thumb drive again. All right, and then I'm going to go to my east quarter, which is right here. I'm going to hit next. Then I want to select my source, which is going to be that prescription. I have Asgrow again, and then I'm going to leave my units, as always, 1,000 seeds an acre. I'm not going to rescale, and then I'm going to leave my default as 0. I'll hit next. Okay, now we're not in the field yet, but I'm going to go ahead and find the field. I just need to change where I'm sitting here. Okay, so now I've changed where I'm at. I'm using a GPS simulator to basically simulate this. You can see that I have 3 different zones in this east quarter. You can see this is a typical menu that you might see when you're using prescriptions. It says task controller stopped. What do you want to use? So if you're using prescriptions, you always want to use the TC. That's task controller rate. Material rate is just a standard rate that you set in the planner controller. So I'm going to hit TC rate here. And then I'm going to turn my job on. So I'm going to enable that. And now you can see we have our prescription. I'm going to start moving through the field. All right, and as I change between zones, I'm going to speed up here. You can see that I'm at 160,000 there. I'm going to go to 150,000. And then 140,000. So you can see that it changes rate. The key is watching that. That is the procedure of sending prescriptions out to the display and then importing the prescriptions into the C3000 and then making those jobs active with the prescription. Thank you.